Hello everyone, I'm going to go ahead and read a story. It's called The Interactive Read Aloud, and the title is A View from the Moon. Okay, and through the story I'm going to go ahead and go over some vocabulary words so we can go ahead and do a little bit of studying on those, okay? Alright, first we're going to think about one of the questions leading into this, which is, what do you see on the moon? So when you look outside at nighttime and you see the moon, what do you see on the moon? So think about it for a little bit. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. All around our planet, people can look up at the sky and see the moon. This glowing ball has always been mysterious. But in 1969, two astronauts traveled far into space and walked on the moon. This helped us solve some of the moon's mysteries. Here on the Earth, we see the moon at night and sometimes during the day. It can look like a round ball, half of a circle, or a thin slice. It is hard to tell how big the moon really is. That's because the distance between the Earth and the moon is so great. So we're going to stop right there. We heard the word distance, okay? Distance. The distance is how far one object is from another. We also heard earlier the word space. The space is the huge area beyond the sky where all of the stars and planets are. All right, back to the story. The moon looks smaller than a cloud because clouds are closer to us than the moon. And the moon looks bigger than a star because the stars are much farther away. Okay, so now we're going to go on to the next card. Somebody got them out of order. All right, next one. Okay, we see a space shuttle lifting off. We see some astronauts. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. What is it like there on the moon? People asked. The only way to answer this question was to build a spaceship, land it on the moon, and then travel back to Earth. The mission that did this was called Apollo 2. The lucky astronauts were Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins. The astronauts flew two different spaceships to the moon. The astronauts flew two different spaceships to the moon. The main ship, called Columbia, took them to just above the moon and back to Earth. The actual moon lander was named Eagle. The astronauts trained hard. They studied every part of the ships to prepare the strange world of space. But they also got used to their heavy spacesuits. These suits would protect them from very cold and very hot temperatures on the moon. After liftoff on July 16, 1969, it took the astronauts 3 days to get to the moon. Living on a spaceship was a challenge. So we heard the word challenge. A challenge can be something that calls for hard work and a lot of effort. There was very little room to move around on the space shuttle. The astronauts ate special dried or liquid foods. They had to make sure all the tools and instruments were working properly, but it would all be worth it. Okay, next one. Okay, we see them. Where do we think they are? We see an American flag. Okay. On July 20th, the Eagle landed on the surface of the moon. We heard the word surface. The surface of something is the very top layer. Neil Armstrong had the honor of taking the first step. Then the astronaut explored the amazing new land. The astronauts collected moon rocks, took pictures, and planted an American flag. They also practiced walking in their spacesuits. Walking on the moon is fun because people weigh less there. When you jump up, it takes a while to come back down. The surface of the moon is covered in powdery dust, like the planet Earth. The moon has different land features. It has mountains, flat parts, and even fields of hot, bubbly liquid called lava. Eagle landed in a smooth area called the Sea of Tranquility. but even the moon's smooth areas have lots of rocky holds called craters. The moon is not nearly as colorful as planet Earth, though from close up, astronauts on the moon only see gray colors. There is no water there. Seas on the moon are not really seas, but have water and waves. So seas on the moons are not real seas. They have water and waves. But there is absolutely no wind there. If you go to the moon today, you will still see the footprints of every astronaut who walked there. Okay, so it's very different from the Earth, isn't it? So in the Earth, if we walk somewhere like a beach and it gets windy, it just wipes our footprints away. But if you think about it, 1969 was a really long time ago, and their footprints of the astronauts are still there. Isn't that interesting? Very different. Okay, last picture. Here we go. Okay, take a look at that. So we see stars. Looks like we're in space, and we're looking down at our special place, and our special place is Earth. Okay. We are all used to seeing Earth from up close, right under our feet. But what does Earth look like from far away? Neil, Buzz, and Michael got to do something very special. They got to see planet Earth from far away in space. On the surface of the moon, it was very dark. There is no blue sky. The colorful stars shine even brighter. The moon under their feet looks big, and Earth looks very small. Earth is called the blue planet because most of it's covered in ocean. From space, it is easy to see the blue color on Earth. If you look closer at Earth, you recognize the brown shapes of the Earth's land. Okay, we heard the word recognize. Recognize is to know you have seen something before. Okay. Rainforests are bright green and deserts are yellow. White clouds swirl around the land looking at Earth from the moon. Earth looks too small to stand on. You have to remind yourself of all the people who live down there. We have answered many questions about the moon, but there's still a lot to learn. The moon is a fascinating place we can hope to return to one day. All right, that's the end. Thank you for joining me for our story today, and hopefully you can do some more research about the moon. And remember, our story is called A View from the Moon. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.